Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. Before I launch into today's video, which is homeware DIY related, I felt like it would be a bit disingenuous if I didn't address what was going on right now. And this video actually is going to have all of the AdSense donated towards the Black Lives Matter campaign. So if you want to donate but you can't afford to, if you watch the ads in full on this video as many times as you want, all of the ad revenue from this video will go straight to the organization. I'm also going to list in the description below some resources, petitions that you can sign, and places where you can donate. I've donated to a few of them myself. So let's keep up the momentum, keep educating ourselves, and strive to make the world a much better place for the next generation. Thank you so much for listening, and although it feels very weird to say this after saying something much more important, here's some very light-hearted home decor content. Let's go. Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel and to today's video, which is some DIY home decor hacks, and these are made using only items that I found in Poundland. I actually went to Poundland about a week before lockdown really started, and then lockdown happened and I was like, can I make this video? I don't know, but you know what, I'm just gonna do it anyway because we all like making DIYs, and even if you don't have these supplies, hopefully you can get a few ideas of what you can make while you're stuck at home. So without further ado, let's jump into the video and I'll share with you the bits that I picked up from Poundland. Immediately, one of the first things that caught my eye were these little trinket boxes. They're made of glass, they're hexagonal, and they're really cool. They remind me of something that I've seen on Urban Outfitters recently, so I wanted to try and DIY it. These little jewellery boxes are my favourite thing that Poundland has come out with for a really long time. They look like a cheaper alternative to a very high-end product. And they reminded me of something that I saw on the Urban Outfitters website recently. They have jewellery boxes and other items with pressed flowers in the glass. So I'm going to try and recreate that. I picked up two and I'm going to take the lid off of one and attach it to the top of the other and put some pressed flowers in between. So I went out to my nan's garden recently and I borrowed some of her flowers. This is how that went down. Huh. Didn't know my nan was an army too. So about a week ago, I took all of those flowers home and I stuck them in a bowl full of water to make sure that they were really hydrated. You can leave these for a few hours. I left them overnight and then I took them out and trimmed off all of the stems and any excess pieces and then let them dry for a couple of hours. Once most of the water had evaporated, I took some paper, which I doubled up, and then I stuck all the little flowers very sparsely across the piece of paper and put the other piece on top, and then I stacked a ton of books on them. You want to make sure you're not using kitchen roll for this because the print of the kitchen roll can transfer onto the flower. And if you have all the time in the world, you can do this over the course of 4 weeks, changing out the paper every 1 to 2 weeks. However, I want to carry on with these projects and I actually saw online another method that you can do. You can use an iron to iron the flowers, and this you can do on day one after you've picked them and made sure that they've been hydrated.
I haven't tried that method yet, or the microwave method, so if you try them, let me know how it goes. I'd love to try them in the future.
So now on the main trinket dish, I'm just going to use a little bit of Mod Podge and very gently place all of my flowers where I want them to go, and then I can attach the top piece. With all the flowers laid down, I'm now going to attach my top piece, which I pried off of the second box. I used a pair of jewellery pliers to pick the back piece of wire that held the piece together. I tried to be as careful as possible with this, but as you can see, it did pull a bit of the edging away, leaving some of the glass exposed. It's not super sharp, but I want to cover it up, so when I attach the top piece over the flowers, I'm going to run a very clean line of hot glue along the top of that just to tidy it up. Ideally, I would recommend sticking this down with super glue, but I've been looking for mine for half an hour and it's gone walkies. I can't find it. So I'm gonna have to use my trusty glue gun. Once again, I do think this would be better with super glue because it's very delicate, but we're just gonna be very, very slow and meticulous with this hot glue. A little bit at a time and quickly add it to the top. And that's the final piece. In the stationery section, they have these really interesting pen pots, and I thought they had this kind of industrial vibe. And then in the homeware section, they have these little tiny light bulbs. Well, I wanted to go all out and do a little tiny light bulb desk lamp moment, but because I'm extra, I had to step it up a little bit. We got an actual light bulb. This was a complicated task, but I'll show you what I did with it. I'm going to take this piece outside first and spray paint it black so that it matches the base of this. And then we're going to try and assemble it. I have had an idea. This is an Edison style light bulb that they sell in Poundland. How cool would that look in here? That would be awesome. I can envision it, but I need to try and find a way to A, take this out without completely shattering the glass and breaking myself, and B, take this apart to see if I can combine the two. I've looked up a YouTube tutorial on how to take apart a light bulb. Let's hope and pray that this doesn't go wrong. For this piece, I used Rust-Oleum spray paint in hammered metal, and this is the black version. I think it gives it a very nice kind of unique texture and it makes it look very industrial. And this is how it turned out after 2 coats. I watched various YouTube tutorials about how to pry this piece off of the light bulb, and it just wasn't working on the Poundland one, and I didn't want it to become too dangerous, so I ended up switching out the light bulb to a very plain looking one. If you are going to do this, please, here is a disclaimer, make sure you are very careful, do this at your own risk, wear gloves, and do it very, very gently. But as you can see, I pried the little piece off of the top with a craft knife. I then used my craft pliers to get rid of the plastic on the inside, and very gently with a screwdriver popped the filament on the inside and then shook it out. Ooh. I took the Poundland light bulb contraption apart and I just used a hairdryer to warm up the glue on the outside of the glass globe, and then I was able to do the same thing with the plastic light bulb casing. There's nothing wrong with this, I just want to upgrade this DIY and make it look a lot better. You could have left it as it is if you want, but I just want to do the most for some reason. So now I'm going to try and put this on top of here. This flimsy bit here is just, oh, well, I was gonna say I was gonna cut it down, but I guess there's no need anymore. That solves that problem. I'm just gonna place that on top and glue it down, probably with some hot glue. And ta-da! We have a light bulb. So I'm gonna work on gluing this back together now, and then once that's dry, I'm just going to drop this whole thing into the bottom of my pen pot. All I have to do now is pop this in there and I can just take it out to turn it on and off. Cute! These Starburst mirrors always catch my eye, so I was dying to do something with one of these. They remind me of something you might find in Urban Outfitters, so I decided to flip one of these very simply and make something else out of it. As you can see, it's not been spray painted very well, so I've taken the time to put some masking tape over the mirror piece in the middle, and I'm going to take it outside and give it another coat of spray paint just to get rid of the black underneath. You don't have to do this if you don't want to. I'm just being really picky about it. If you wanted, you could also do a completely different color on this, so it's totally up to you. I'm just going to take it outside now and spray paint it with another coat. And what I'm doing with these hooks is attaching them to the spike. Turn it over and make sure that the attachment to hang it up with is in the middle. It kind of goes, that's the middle spike, isn't it? Or is that the middle spike? I think that's the middle spike. So I'm going to attach 5 to these 5 spikes at the bottom. And all you have to do is be patient, but screw these tiny hooks in at the bottom. Okay, I think we're getting somewhere. 1 down, 4 to go. And last but not least, I love these little tripod pots. They're very mid-century inspired, and I think they're really modern and an amazing thing for Poundland to carry for only £1. However, the metal pot on the inside has a hole in the middle, which I'm not a huge fan of, because then all of the water from my plants will rush straight onto the table. Surely there should be a plastic pot inside it with a hole. Anyway, I wanted to switch things up a little bit and see if I could repurpose these two into 2 separate planters. And to do that, I found one of these things, which was in the cooking section. And when I saw that, I knew that that was what I was going to use. We're going to swap these. So this will go in here and this will go like that. Very simple DIY. At this point, you could spray paint this base if you wanted to, but I really like it, so I might leave it as it is. Having a base for this piece will stop it from leaking all over your table, but I do think I'm gonna give this a spray paint and see if we can change the color a bit. Okay, let's go. And my can is finished. I used the Rust-Oleum hammered metal spray paint on this one again. I just think it gives it a really interesting texture. So I'm gonna fill this with a plant and put it on display. This one's really simple. I'm just gonna pot a plant in a plastic container in here and then stand it on top. I thought I might have to attach it with glue, but it seems to stand on its own really well. So let me take it downstairs and show you what it looks like. So that's it for my DIY home decor on a budget video. These are Poundland items. I don't know if you noticed, but I tried to base them on the kind of things you might see in Urban Outfitters. I was doing a little scroll on the website the other day and I wanted to make an order, but then I was like, no, let's do some DIYs. And I think they turned out kind of cool. And with all of that being said, thanks so much for watching. I hope you're staying safe, happy DIYing, and I'll see you next time. Bye.